Formed in Seattle in 1985, Soundgarden was named after a piece of local pipe sculpture and set out to bring metal out of the sludgy 70s and maybe expand its audience too.
There's a crossover, I would say, it goes from a college crowd to an independent metal crowd or a metal crowd.
Yeah, the college students' little brothers and little sisters.
The band cut its first EP for the fledgling local indie label Sub Pop in 1987, moved on to another indie, SST, to release its first full album in 1988, and then signed with a major, A&M, and spawned a hit with the album Louder Than Love. In 1989, original bassist Hiro Yamamoto left the band. He was replaced first by one-time Nirvana member Jason Everman, and ultimately, in 1990, by Ben Shepherd. By 1992, Soundgarden put in the first of its two stints on the Lollapalooza tour, hitting the road with such diverse acts as Ice Cube, Pearl Jam, and Ministry.
A little bit petulant and bitchy about it the first time.
Why?
You know, it's a little bit of the alternative lie sort of thing. We enjoyed the bill. We enjoyed playing with Pearl Jam, Ministry, Chili's, and all those guys. And that was the thing we liked best about it. Everything else was just a little bit too many people, too many interests. Yeah, just kind of this. You have to be there.
So why did you decide to go out on Lolla since your last experience was?
Because we get to play with Metallica and the Ramones.
Soundgarden's biggest hit came in 1994 with the album Super Unknown, which entered the Billboard chart at number 1.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole.
The multi-platinum Super Unknown brought Soundgarden 2 Grammy Awards, one for Best Hard Rock Performance for Black Hole Sun, and one for Best Metal for Spoon Man.
You don't hear a lot of rock songs, with spoons in them, so it was sort of an experiment, and it turned out really, really great.
In 1996, Soundgarden released what has turned out to be the group's last album, Down on the Upside, which the band for the first time produced itself.
Yo, this is Timmy C, Chris Cornell, Tom Morello.
Hey, this is Brad Will from Audioslave.
Zach had left the band, and we were kind of figuring out what we were going to do, and we were still tossing around, maybe finding someone to sing for Rage Against the Machine.
Rick Rubin was actually the one who suggested that we get together, and Chris has been one of my favorite vocalists of all time.
And Rick came at us and said, why don't you jam with Chris Cornell? And then a rehearsal got scheduled to where we were going to go meet Chris Cornell. It was more than just, for me at that time, it was more than just we're going to jam with Chris Cornell, that in itself made my hair stand up. But then it was like, and Rick Rubin wants to produce it, and we don't even have any songs.
We didn't want to do a project. We didn't want to do a one-off. We wanted it to be a band. First time we got together, we just jammed together, and we decided, well, let's just try writing some songs.
I got there and figured I'm going to know within 10 minutes, and within 10 minutes I knew that it would be great. But I stuck in there for maybe an hour and a half, and then they were ready to just keep going, and I stopped and said, I think we can be a band.